Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio. Sponsored by Family Forest Carbon Program, where we help family forest owners get paid to improve the health of their woods. I am Allison Kinney. In the headlines today, Dr. Michael Delaberto, an economist with the Louisiana State University Ag Center, says figures definitely show Brazil is quickly becoming a major player in the world corn market.
Production's up almost 11% from last year in Brazil, so that's something to watch as well. You know, their corn production in Brazil soared over the past 15 years. It's more than doubled between 2010 and 2024, according to USDA data, and that's mainly because producers in Brazil have increased their second crop corn acres, which is mostly planted after their soybeans. So, you know, their total harvested corn area went from 34.1 million acres in 2010 to 55.5 million acres in 23. It's going to be 55 million acres this year, and it shows that second crop corn planting tripling. So just how much of a player they are on the international corn world.
Again, Dr. Michael Delaberto of Louisiana State University. Let's check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work.
For this week's update, Ohio Country Journal editor Brianna Smith caught up with Dr. Laura Lindsay.
Joining me is Dr. Laura Lindsay, the state soybean and small grain specialist with OSU Extension. Dr. Lindsay, as you know, there has been a wet spring, and some people are looking at late planted soybeans, whether they're double cropping, replanting, or planting for the first time. Are there any adjustments that farmers should be making as we go into the late season here?
Sure. The first adjustment to think about is seeding rate. As we plant later in the growing season, we recommend increasing seeding rates. So if you plant the first half of June, we recommend having a plant stand of 130 to 150,000 plants per acre. So of course, seeding rate should be higher than that. Once we get into the end of June and double crop soybean situations, we would like to see a plant population of at least 180,000 plants per acre. The other thing to keep in mind is row width. Narrow rows are always better, and narrow is 15 or 7.5 inches. Those are always better than 30-inch rows, and the effect of row width is greater as you plant later. So really, if you're thinking about planting in June or July, really trying to have narrow rows if at all possible.
Thank you. That was Dr. Laura Lindsay, the state soybean and small grain specialist with OSU Extension. Reporting for Ohio's Country Journal and Ohio AgNet, I'm Brianna Smith.
Thanks, Brianna. And this update brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff.
Also in the headlines today, dairy cattle rations are another market for soybean producers. High oleic soybean oil is now being incorporated into dairy cattle feed rations and is positively affecting animal health. Don Weiss, chair of the United Soybean Board's Audit and Evaluation Committee, says it's been a journey to get high oleic soybean oil into cattle rations.
We at USB brought the high oleic program forward, and it was all originally intended for food use for the healthier soybean oil being produced from these high oleic soybeans. But here in the last short while, we are finding some benefits, some significant benefits in areas of the feed industry, in particular dairy. So June being Dairy Month, it is great to highlight this newfound benefit from high oleic soybeans going into dairy rations, improving that overall butterfat yield. I, as a farmer, really like this from the standpoint that we are paving the way for a more stable demand foundation going forward when we can rely on both food uses, which haven't gone away. They're still there. But now we're bringing this exciting new feed usage of high oleics into the mix as well. Real excited going forward.
He said checkoff dollars helped with research on high oleic soybeans and dairy cattle feed rations.
It's a significant example of why we as U.S. soybean farmers pay into our checkoff to promote our industry overall and to bring big changes and developments to us that come back to our own family farms around the country. The high oleic program has been a perfect example, I guess, is how I would describe it, as a place where we've spent significant checkoff dollars, but are now seeing significant returns that are coming back to our farms. And one of the pieces that was taking time to grow is just being able to offer this to all U.S. soybean farmers. And we're not there yet, but now we're in 16 states. And with this continued development with dairy, it's going to expand into other states as well when they are trying to partner with other dairy locations around the country.
Getting the soybeans into dairy cattle rations benefits soybean farmers and cattle producers.
I call it a win-win. We're winning by seeing this go into the feed rations of dairy cows, but also continuing to, in a tighter margin environment, see new developments on the demand side for our soybeans. And this is only going to continue to grow going forward with the results that we're seeing coming out of that benefit to the dairy industry. And there's some additional work being done in swine right now, too, to look at this. So we may not be done yet.
That's Don Weiss, a soybean farmer from Indiana. This market report is brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. July corn down 3/4 at 409 1/2. December corn down 1 1/2 at 421. July soybeans down 2 1/4 at 1022 3/4. November soybeans down 2 even at 1016 1/2. July wheat down 7 1/4 at 521. September wheat down 7 3/4 at 536 3/4. June live cattle up 10 cents at 221.70, and August live cattle up 22 cents at 209.20. This is the Ohio AgNet.